Hello friends, I am back today with another day of Bookmas. In the last video I did my fake dating recommendations and I said I didn't have very many of them because I've mostly been reading Marriages of Convenience. So that's what this is. It's gonna be Marriages of Convenience and like a couple of like arranged forced marriages. So have Wild Ever After by Rebecca Jinchak. This is book 3 in the Wildcat series. This one is about Declan and Jade. Jade is writing this wedding article for the newspaper that she works at, and her and her boyfriend were supposed to just be like faking engagement, and then they were going to get to the wedding and then not actually have the wedding, but her boss tells her that she really needs to go through with the wedding if she wants people to believe anything that she's written. I think she's put like a year of work into writing articles around the planning of the wedding, and her fiance or boyfriend, fiance, whatever, decides to like call her out pretty reasonably that he didn't ask for any of this. He didn't ever propose to her. She started writing the articles and told him that he was going to go along with it. So Jade is left pretty last minute. I think they're at the bachelorette party, trying to figure out a way to not get fired from her job for writing these fake stories. And Declan offers to step in as her groom and that they will stay married for a year. So it's helping Jade keep her job. I want to say he's like trying to re-sign a contract, or he's just re-signed a contract and wants to like prove to the team that he's like serious about staying. So they have mutual benefits of their marriage of convenience. I also have The Bluff by Willa Nash Devney Perry. This is book 2, I think, in the Calamity Montana series. This one is Everly and Reese. They agree to a quick marriage of convenience because they are kind of in a friends with benefits situation. And Everly hears Reese on the phone with his lawyer talking about how he could try to get custody of his daughter. He's an ex-con, so there's all these like dilemmas in his way. And so Everly, he kind of makes a joke to his lawyer, or his lawyer makes a joke or something about if he was married and could show a judge that he was stable and had a stable home life, that it might help his case getting his teenage daughter. And so Everly agrees to jump in and be that fake quick wife for him. I have 2 mafia arranged marriage books. The first one is The Marriage Contract by Katie Robert. This is the first book in her O'Malley series. I believe these have new covers. I don't remember what the covers look like though. So this one is Teague and Callista. Teague doesn't really want anything to do with his mafia family, and he's but one day his dad tells him that he's going to enter into this arranged marriage with Callista to form an agreement between the two families, and he is pretty adamant that it's not going to be a thing that happens until he meets her. It's just like a switch flips, and he gets very protective over her and will do basically anything to keep her near, but she takes a little bit more convincing to come around. I also have Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. This is book 1 in the Brutal Birthright series. This one is Ada and Callum. They are from rival families in Chicago, but one night Ada's family sneaks in, or Ada and her brothers sneak into Callum's family's party, and Ada is snooping around and ends up accidentally catching fire in Callum's office, and so the families decide that in order to call this alliance, they are going to force Ada and Callum to get married. Next up, I have King of Wrath by Anna Huang. This is book 1 in her Kings of Sin series. This one is Dante and Vivian. They meet because Vivian's father blackmails Dante into an arranged marriage with her. Dante really only agrees because he wants to know what information Vivian's father has and what he plans to do with it. He agrees to the wedding because he wants to like ruin Vivian's father, and as he gets to know her, it becomes less about getting back at her father for what he's doing to him, but more about like how he could just sell her off, that kind of thing. Very good start to the series. I also have Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is book 2 in her Dreamland Billionaire series. This one is Iris and Declan. They work together. Iris is Declan's assistant. This series is about 3 brothers who are all given a certain task that they have to complete in order to receive their part of their grandfather's will. Well, Declan's is to get married and have an heir to the business. And so he kind of has Iris like finding his bride for him. And when she picks somebody and it's their engagement party, I think he's mean and she hears it or something, or he's like talking about her and she hears it. And so the girl that is supposed to marry him leaves, and Iris has planned this big party and invited all of these really powerful people. And so in order for Declan to keep up the appearance that he is getting married, she agrees to step in as the bride. I really like this one because it was their choices. Like, he knew he was going to get married to somebody, and then when she stepped in of her own will, I mean, as much as last minute agreed to it because the real person left is of her own will, but when she steps in, he's happy with that. Like, he's fine with it. He thinks they work well together, and so he doesn't see a problem with it. But one of the things that I really liked is even after when they're married, it's this whole new dynamic for them, and they really have to work out the boss employee and the husband and wife of it all. So yeah, I really like this one. And finally, I have basically any book in Katharina Mora's Windsor series, but I decided to go with book 1, The Wrong Bride. This one is Raven and Aries. Aries family, they like do arranged marriages. The grandmother picks for all of them who they're going to marry. Aries is in a relationship with Raven's sister, and it was always supposed to be Raven, but Aries and her sister started dating, and so they kind of just like moved the marriage over to the sister. So they've been told to set a date finally, and there's this big wedding planned and everything, and on the day of, Raven's sister does not show up. And so the grandmother is just like, I think it tells her parents, like, one of your daughters is going to marry him today, so you need to figure out which one, and it ends up being Raven. So this series is super dramatic, especially this first one. I feel like this first one was more dramatic, and they get a little bit more emotional as they go on. But yeah, this one is super dramatic. It's super soap opera-y, but it's written so well. So those are some of my marriage of convenience / arranged marriage romances. If you have any more that I should check out, leave them for me down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!